service fouls.
Glenn Hagan and Bernie Fabiosa are the backcourt tandem for Crispa at this point. Deep in the corner, that's Hagan passing off to Cesar, who misses an easy one. Robinson for the rebound. Natividad, number 22 on his black jersey, giving it to Robinson, who moves to the baseline, tries to leave Gidabin behind and draws a foul from Gidabin. That's foul number 2 on Abit. 12-point lead for Mariwasa, 34-22. Natividad inbounding. Robinson takes it in. Glenn Hagan trying to swipe. And look at him. Did you see that? He tried to elbow away Robinson. Ooh. Cesar got a knuckle on his nose there.
Yes, we have that on slow motion, but there was a foul called earlier on Bernard Fabiosa, so there was nothing Cesar could do. No, that play was just a continuation of a foul play already.
Not only did he get a knuckle, he also got a knee. Robinson is missing very badly. So far, he has laid a big fat egg in the scoring department.
But he had a great block shot on a Philip Cesar drive.
34-22. All right. What do we have here again? Another foul. Natividad's third foul.
Some physical action between Natividad and Bernard Fabiosa. The game seems to be at that point at this moment.
It's going to be very, very physical, to be diplomatic about it. Fortunato Co Jr. firing off Natividad and sinking it. 34-24, 10-point lead for Mariwasa. The Mariwasans have slowed down the game somewhat. They succeeded beautifully in the first quarter with a running game. Alulor.
They have not just scored so far after 2.5 minutes of play.
Natividad is pulled out
by Oliveros Dalman. I think his nickname is Nonoy. He's also a Cebuano. And also Tony Torrente, first time in the game, Joe, for Alulor.
That's right. He's usually a starter, isn't he?
Yes.
Okay, once more, the backcourt duo of Glenn Hagan and Fabiosa bring down Gidabin with a baseline drive, reverse layup of Vicente. 34-26, 8-point lead for Mariwasa. They had a high of 13. Somebody hit the deck there, Vicente, and we have a foul by Co. Co so far has been held down to only 2 points. Here's Robinson. Still can't find the hoop. Philip Cesar pulling up, giving it to Co. He drives in. The running jump shot trickles in.
Yes, left-handed shot too.
He's an ambidextrous shooter. Right?
Yes.
A 6-point lead for Mariwasa. And Robinson for the umpteenth time. Somebody seems to be moving back the goal every time he throws that leather.
Yes, right now Crispa started the third quarter very strongly, 8-0.
Vicente will be inbounding from the right sideline. Robinson receives it and he lost it to Hagan now. The bounce pass inside. Gidabin. Cesar is open. It would have been a beautiful passing play if only Cesar had been more accurate. Soliano struggling for possession. Poblete, Dalman. Everybody seems to be suffering from that long layup. Even Fabiosa with an open shot like that. 34-28 is still a 6-point lead for Mariwasa. We haven't seen a conversion in a long time.
You know, Mariwasa was so lucky in the first quarter. Everybody was taking outside shot. It was going in. Right now, nobody's scoring for them. Maybe they need Poblete back in the ball game.
Glenn Hagan still can't break the silence. Left in the first half. Mariwasa can't seem to find the basket either.
Foul Vicente.
We have a foul by Vicente. We'll be back after this timeout by Mariwasa. Andrew Howe, would you care to hazard a guess as to why Mariwasa has been held scoreless for the last 4.5 minutes?
Well, they don't really have too much offensive threat here except for Robinson and Torrente. And Robinson, as we know, has been missing his shots. And I think that's the reason why Dodi Meco called for that timeout to try to get his boys back into the game. They went on a scoring spree of 34 points in the first quarter, and after 5 minutes, they're still scoreless in the second quarter.
Here's Atoiko shaking off Robinson, and Gidabin puts it in.
That 14-point lead that they had at the first quarter is now down to 4, with possibly down to 3 with this foul shot of Abet Gidabin.
Time left, 6:57 and a half. Nobody is in any foul trouble as far as the individual players are concerned. Team fouls, let me see. 3 for Crispa. Here's Robinson. And he loses it. June Bernardino, you could be right. Robinson might be trying so hard, too much on the offensive.
It's down to 1 point right now.
It's probably going to go down as a record of sorts. Being held scoreless this long, it's about 6 minutes now since their guns were silenced, and it's still silent. Cesar with a long home run pass to Fabiosa.
Robinson.
And so, Robinson is recalled to the bench.
In favor of Martinez.
Monico Martinez. They might have better luck with Monico.
I think that's a great move because at the same time the locals, like in their upset win over Gilbis, don't have to depend on Robinson now, so the locals have to take over the scoring.
Well, they're not doing that. Torrente had too much muscle behind that last shot, and here's a steal by Dalman. Torrente gives it back to Dalman. He pulls up. Torrente still can't make it. It was right in front of his nose, and he still couldn't get it. And here's Gidabin.
Go-ahead basket for Crispa. This time really why Poblete has not been sent to the ball game. I've been looking over his statistics. He's been playing an average of 22 minutes. Although he played 12. Oh, that was a great shot by Martinez to end this silence. I think he should be sent in back to the ball game.
36-35. Cesar misses. Gidabin gives back the lead to Crispa at 37-36. Here's Torrente, along with Jesse Soliano. They're the backcourt duo for Mariwasa. Here's Dalman, the 20-footer. No way. Glenn Hagan. Fabiosa. Ko. In the corner. Gidabin. Cuts in. Yes.
Gidabin seems to be unstoppable at this point also because his height is really a determining factor.
11 points now for At.
Okay, we have 2 people standing by for Mariwasa right now, Jimmy Javier and Benji Poblete.
And it's very interesting to note that those 11 points of Abet Gidabin were scored in the second half alone.
Yeah, in the second quarter.
Over the second quarter, that's right. Here's Torrente with Soliano. Vicente getting away from Gidabin. And a beautiful block by Glenn Hagan. Look at those sleight of hand tricks by Glenn Hagan. Go.
Well, this is the kind of game that Crispa likes.
In a wink, the 14-point lead of Mariwasa was dissipated, and Crispa now is up by 5. And they are now succumbing to errors. Okay, let's see if these substitutions by Dodi Miego will work.
Timeout, Crispa Redmanizers.
Dalupan calls for a timeout. Okay, you're looking at a slow-mo replay of that last piece of action where Glenn Hagan swiped the ball from the hand of Vicente. You're right about this guy, Hagan, Andrew. His hands must be made of something else other than human stuff.
Yeah, he also has very quick anticipation because he came from the blind side. An interesting statistic for Mariwasa, they've only scored 2 points so far after 8 minutes. 1 out of 18 attempts for a low, real low, 5%.
And I'll tell you something else. What we're looking for right now is how they will fare in these last 3 minutes and 49 seconds of the second quarter, because so far they've scored only 2 points, and the lowest so far registered this year was 14.
And on contrary, on the other side, Crispa, 11 out of 20, something like 55% for
which is great shooting in any league. 43-36, 7-point lead for the Redmanizers. Poblete is back in the game, and he is going to ignite a rally, I suppose.
I mean, that shot shows the stuff that he's made of, you know, that he can score even
Okay,
against
intimidated by Cesar, gives it to
Alolor.
Alolor.
This was another guy who was also scoring well in the first quarter. So that added some spark to the play of Mariwasa.
Glenn Hagan over to Bernie Fabiosa. Cole fires. Yes, sir. When this guy gets a hot hand, he burns. 5-point lead for the Redmanizers at 45-40. 2 minutes and 37 seconds left. All-time low scoring for any quarter in the PBA League is 8 points. In this quarter is 14 points. Mariwasa stands a pretty good chance of breaking both records if they don't wake up soon enough. Torrente gives it to Alolor. Oops. That was an offensive foul. Let's take a look at that. Yes, Cesar had established clearly his position.
This is where Philip Cesar is at his best, you know, when he puts his two arms to his chest so that even if you bang into him, he won't get hurt, no?
A defensive mechanism. That was Glenn Hagan. And he's out for a grand slam. Martinez was the guilty party there, and Crispa is up by 7, 47-40, and Robinson comes back in.
Still scoreless as far as James Robinson is concerned. There have been talks that his injury is much more serious than people would like to admit. So maybe this game can prove what kind of injury James Robinson sustained in that fall against Iko Tanduay.
And yet, Andrew, I don't notice any sign of wariness on his part. So maybe he's not really that badly injured. Could be that he's just out of practice.
One of his
shape.
bad games, maybe.
Yes. 48-40. Fabiosa with a runaway.
You know, this is right now the five on Crispa on the floor is showing the stuff that they're made of. They're rebounding, assisting, they're scoring like nobody's business. So they're showing that they're really a potent five for the Crispa Redmanizers.
And they're also showing a modicum of defense for which they are very, very poorly noted as far as the first phase of the conference is concerned. Anyway, second foul on Bernie Fabiosa. Alolor inbounding for the black shirts, which happen to be the Mariwasa Hondas in tonight's game. Jimmy Javier. We have a foul by Abit Gidabin? Yes. That's foul number 3 on Abit with 1 minute and 23 left in the half. 50-40 is the count. Crispa favor. Really surprising how Mariwasa started out like a haystack on fire and suddenly found itself completely doused without a single ember.
Hubaldo checked in for Gidabin, so I think Philip Cesar will now play the center slot for Crispa.
2 for 2 by Poblete. Poblete keeping the hopes alive for Mariwasa.
So they have 8 points so far in the second quarter.
That's 20 points now for Benji. A near steal by Martinez. Freddy Ubalde gives it to Cesar. Ko! Not that time. Robinson. Well, if he can't score at least, he still can rebound. Alolor.
I agree with you there, Joe. Robinson should change his style of game. He should play defense and go for the rebounds. If he cannot score, that's what he should do.
That was a careless shot by Freddy Ubalde.
Oh, we're going to have the first 2 points of James Robinson.
If he doesn't make it, I don't know. Well, he did it.
That dunk was, you owe me that one.
Yes. Yes, sirree. It's a long-term debt. 50-46, and the Crispa lead is down to only 4. Hagan. Ubalde is open. He takes careful aim. 51-42-46. 25 seconds left. First half. 22 seconds left in the shot clock for Mariwasa. Robinson. Let's see if he can take a long range. Oh, he took one step too many.
So Crispa now has the advantage for the last shot in the second quarter with 13 seconds to go.
6-point lead for the Redmanizers. Going into lemon time, let's see what the margin will be. We have a foul.
Penalty.
Alolor, and since Mariwasa is in team foul trouble, Cesar is on the line. Philip Cesar, MVP 2 years ago and still a very strong contender any year. 53-46, 7-pointer. 8-point advantage. 6 seconds to go. They got that ball to Javier in time, but he didn't make it. Hey, listen to this. Mariwasa scored only 12 points in the second quarter, while they scored 34 points in the first quarter. So in the first quarter, they scored their best period in the All-Filipino Conference, in phase 1 at least.
Yeah, and on the other side, Crispa scored 34 points in the second quarter, after only scoring 20 points in the first quarter.
So it's simply a matter of shoes being placed on the other feet. Okay, we'll be back with some interviews and then facts and stats.